Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another field strip video. Today's field strip video is going to be on the SIG MCX Spear LT. Now I recently did a field strip video on the SIG MCX Virtus, which is the generation before this. Now they seem to have changed a couple of things, and maybe because this is in 7.6.2 instead of 5.5.6, it just comes apart a little bit different. So I thought it was worthy of another field strip video. There are a few tools we might need for this. You might need a screwdriver with a size 15 Torx. You might need a very small flathead screwdriver, and I'm going to use this for moving a latch on the bolt carrier. You might need a punch. In this case, I'm using a Glock disassembly tool and a gunsmithing hammer of some kind. This is just a little rawhide hammer. All right, so let's first start off by safety checking the firearm. Let's drop our magazine. Let's ensure that there is no ammunition in it. Then we will turn the gun to the side and we will pull the charging handle back. We will visually inspect that chamber, make sure that we are safe, and it looks like we are. I will now put the gun on safe because the hammer is back. Now we're going to take out the pins which hold on the lower receiver, and these can be kind of tight depending on your particular example. These are really tight, and this is where we're going to need this punch and this little hammer. I'm just going to tap these out as far as I possibly can. Do the front one as well. Turn it back over and just pull these out as far as I can, and the lower should simply come off the upper. And there's the lower receiver ready for cleaning. All right, so now let's take out the bolt and the bolt carrier. That comes out just like a standard AR-15, but this is mechanically a lot different. We'll take that whole carrier apart in just a moment. Let's pull out the charging handle. We'll set the upper aside because we're going to take that apart as well in just a moment. And now let's take a look here at the carrier. So we'll take this apart first by taking off the recoil mechanism, and all you have to do is lift up on that and then it comes out the side, just like that. Now while this is made up of a bunch of parts, SIG does not want you taking this down any further. So they have this all put together with roll pins and the like, so you don't have to take this apart any further than that. So that is ready for cleaning, and we can set that aside. And now let's take a look at the rest of the carrier. So in some ways this comes apart very much like an AR-15. However, there is a big difference that I've noticed. This carrier has a little latch which is right here, which holds in the firing pin, and we have to push that down to get the firing pin out. So the first thing we're going to do is push out on the firing pin retainer, which is right there, and it is captive, so it will not come out any further than that. And now we have to get the firing pin out, and this is where I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out the best way of doing this. If you take your finger and put it in there and push down that little latch, you can get it to come out just a little bit, but that's where this little screwdriver comes into play. You push down that latch and you kind of have to pull out on that pin. It can be a little bit tricky. If it comes out far enough, you should be able to get it out with your finger. So let me set it here on the table, see if I can do that. And almost got it. And there we go. So if somebody knows an easier way of doing this, please tell me in the comments. But there is the firing pin, and as you can tell, it has a little spring on it. We'll set that aside. And now we can go to this side of the carrier. We can pull out the cam pin, and the whole bolt should come out the front of the carrier. And then if you want, you can take out the extractor just like our standard AR-15 bolt. We can use our punch, push that little pin through, just like that, and then the extractor is off the bolt. And that's the whole carrier disassembled. All right, so now let's go to the upper receiver, and let's take off this handguard and get out the gas system. So now we're going to take our screwdriver with that size 15 Torx, and we are going to unscrew these two screws on the side, not the ones on the bottom, the ones on the side. There is one There is the second one. And now the whole handguard should come off the front of the receiver. There's the handguard. And now to take out the gas system, all you have to do is push down on this little detent and rotate the gas plug out. And when it gets to the right spot, the whole gas plug comes right out the front. And then the piston comes out the gas block. And there you go. That is a completely field stripped MCX Spear LT chambered in 7.62 by 39. All right, so I got to get this gun all cleaned up. Let's do that, and then let's put it back together. All right, so we got this gun all cleaned up and ready to put back together. So let's do the opposite of how we took it apart. Let's put this gas system back together. We'll start off with the piston. We'll put the piston through the gas block. Then we will install the gas plug. And it has to go in a very particular way here. Push down that detent, rotate it around, and then make sure you can adjust it. One setting is for suppressed, one is unsuppressed, so make sure you can switch between those, no problem. Then let's take the handguard and let's install that. Should slide right back on the upper. Then let's get our screwdriver out and let's reinstall the screws right here, the two that go on the side. You don't want to over torque these down, just make sure they're just nice and snug. And put in the second one. All right, so now our upper receiver is completely put back together. So now let's set that aside and let's put our carrier back together. We'll start with the bolt. We'll install the extractor. Just like an AR-15, line all of that up and put the pin through. Looks like it's in there like it's supposed to be. Install that into the carrier. Now make sure the extractor is on the right side. So when the gun is in operation, it extracts to the correct side and ejects the casing. Then we'll put in our cam pin and we'll rotate that. And then we're going to insert the firing pin, and this can be a little bit tricky, just like taking it out. But I found it kind of fits, for the most part, all the way in, and then just that last part, you have to get that little latch out of the way, and then it goes all the way in. In this case, actually, I forgot to push out that retaining pin. There it is. Got to remember to do that. Then we can put that latch down, and it should go all the way in just like that. And then put the pin retainer back in. Make sure it works. Looks like we are good. So then we'll take the recoil spring assembly, we'll slide it onto the side and then push it down into the carrier. And that is how that goes back together. Let's grab our charging handle now. Let's put that into the upper. And then we will slide in the recoil spring assembly, the carrier, and the bolt. There we go. We'll then grab our lower receiver, make sure these pins are all the way out. Sometimes I can do this with my fingers, so let's see if I can this time. Oh, I got it that time. Close the back. Back is on. First, run the action, just make sure everything looks good. And then you can reinsert the magazine. Let's make sure it holds open. It does. And we are good to go. So there you go, a complete field strip and reassembly of the SIG MCX Spear LT in 7.62 by 39. A little bit different than the other versions that I've done before, so I hope this helps somebody in the future if you happen to own this rifle or pistol. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.